This is Tales from the Cube, a podcast about call centers, what it's like to work in them, the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny and not so funny side of what it's like working in a call center. Welcome to this edition of the podcast. Hi, I'm Cliff, and I'm your host here on the Tales from the Cube podcast. And today's episode is 23012. Yeah, up to number 12. How about that? So today I'm going to jump in here and talk about customer relationship management tools. These are software pieces that basically help you in your business. If you're running a call center, manage the piece. Well, you probably already know that if you're a manager. But what if you're not a manager? Well, I'm going to tell you a bit about what a CRM tool does. And if you're also a person who is not familiar with working in a call center, that sort of thing is what I'm going to describe to you today. What a CRM is, what it does, how it works, why it's important to have that particular tool in the toolbox. Because after all, managing the relationship with your customers is extremely important. Not doing so is going to cost you money. You want to keep your customers happy, but you also want to make sure that you know enough of what they are like and what they dislike, how they operate, how they think, in order to get that happiness going. Because at the end of the day, if you have little to no information about your customer, you're going to be really in the dark, and this is something that you don't want to do. So a customer relationship manager or CRM tool is going to provide you with some important pieces of information that can help you engage with the customer that is calling you on the phone. And every major big company out there does have them. And they are very, very robust in some places and not so in other places. Being in the call center industry as long as I have, I've seen companies that pretty much have very basic, systems to very elaborate systems, and they are extremely in-depth. And in others, there's almost, no information. It's all basic stuff. That said, it is a tool that you want to have. Just so you know, a CRM is not the phone book. So if you're a telemarketer and you're going into a center and you want to work and call a customer and deal with them over the phone, picking up the phone literally and dialing and looking at a list of phone numbers and people's names and such, that's not a CRM tool. That's just a list. And in my opinion, it's really just passé. It's not something that you want to have before you. And it's the same thing with customers. If you don't have some sort of management tool to basically augment the experience, you're just really behind the times. So it's important to have this, and this is a critical thing. So we're going to talk a little bit today about that, how it all works, or more or less how it all works, and you'll understand better, hopefully by the end of this podcast, why you may need a CRM tool, what to look for it when you get one, and ensure that you're using it properly, because after all, this is a tool that really is going to gather a lot of data if you're getting a robust one for sure. So, off the hop, what is a CRM tool? It stands for Customer Relationship Management Tool. I think I've already mentioned that, but I'll mention it again. And it basically manages the relationship between you and your customer. There's a lot of things that go into a CRM. There's the order history. That's something that you want to be aware of. So if your company sells something to somebody, the order history or case history might be there if you're doing technical support. Also, repairs might be added into a CRM if you're a company that handles things like refrigerators. Okay, and you sold a refrigerator to a customer and they call back, and you have to set up repairs. You might want to be doing a CRM tool that has that particular thing in there, the repair management portion of it. CRMs also help you do marketing. So it is a marketing tool. So mail campaigns, email campaigns, phone campaigns can be managed through a CRM, and essentially you can look at what you want to sell to a customer or a group of customers, and then you can decide, okay, how am I going to manage that? What time am I going to call? What kind of person am I going to be dealing with? And you can collect all that data from simple things like social media websites, also past experience if you've had them with the customer. If there's a sort of a contact already there, you can reach back out. That's called a warm lead. Or if it's a cold lead, You can still get information. You don't have to go blind here. The idea here is that you still want to have some facts about the customer in hand. So obviously the phone number, the address, where their interests lie as far as things go. So you might want to look into their social media a little bit and see what they're all about, if you can get that information. Some people do get it. The other thing too is if you want to get an idea of what customers are about, you can draw up a survey campaign and reach out to people and find out what they think about certain things or certain products, and then you can draw up a sales campaign on that part, or even a customer service campaign on that part, because that's also important. What a customer is looking for may also be incorporated into the customer service element to help out, and even technical support. What does a customer want when they go forward and reach out to a company when their thing is not working? The phone, the fridge, the watch, the new computer. If it's not working, how do we go forward and deal with that? So those things are kind of an important part of what a CRM tool will do for you. So that's pretty much it. Now, choosing one is kind of important. You want to choose one that's going to be extremely robust. It's going to basically have some stuff in there that you want to go forward and do things with. So you should look around. There are tons of them out there. I use one, believe it or not, for my own small company, 4 Eyes Freelancing. It's a very robust system. I can do all kinds of things with it. Email campaigns, phone campaigns. I can write letters to customers saying, hey, I've got a sale going on. I've got a promotional code you can use. I can do all that kind of thing in this particular CRM that I use at HubSpot. So it is really, really awesome. And HubSpot, by the way, is a really, really great tool to use if you're a beginner in all this, because it's free. Believe it or not, it's a free tool that you can use. If you want to go with their premium services, they would love that too. But I use it and I find it quite handy to have. One of the most important things you want to consider is, who is it for? Who is the customer relationship management tool for? Why do you want this? Why should you have this? Well, I've already mentioned some of the things that you're going to want to consider, but it's for anybody really to think about this in a rational manner. You want to understand that any business is going to want to have a CRM tool. You want to have this. Not having this is kind of like going to work without, if you were a construction worker, without your hammers and without your screwdrivers. It doesn't make sense. So it's in the best interest of your business to have the CRM tool in place, because it is going to help you with your business for sure. I'm going to delve into some other things, aspects, and ways that the CRM works and how it manages your customer. But I'm going to do that after I take a short little break here, and then I'll be right back. Hello there. We're just taking a little bit of a break from the show. I'm Cliff. I'm the host. Podcast Tales from the Queue. All about call centers and what it's really like to work in them. So in this little promo, I just want to share with you some idea. How about doing some advertising here on our podcast? All you need to do is send an email to 4eyesfreelancing@gmail.com. That's 4eyesfreelancing@gmail.com, and I'll put together a 30, 45, or 60-second ad for you. It's pretty straightforward. In the subject line, don't forget to put in Tails or advertise on Tails, and we'll go forward from there. Now, let's get back to the show. Okay, here we are back again, and so I mentioned, who's this for? Who's the CRM for? Well, it's for any business. It lets you store customer and prospect contact information, identify sales opportunities, which I've already sort of mentioned before, record service issues, and manage marketing campaigns all in one central location. That's why you want to get this. This is who it's for. It's for you to basically manage everything that has to do with the customer. It helps you with visibility and easy access to data. It's easier to collaborate and increase productivity. Everyone in your company can see how customers have been communicating with you. So essentially the idea here is that it gives you a tool that you can put in front of other team members. So your repair department, your sales force, your customer relationship management team, your promotions team, all of these people can use this tool to basically augment the experience for the customer. So you want to have that. Now, using these tools are, complicated in some ways and easy in others. I use a tool basically that I won't name here that is extremely functional. It lets me do all kinds of interesting things. I can set up a repair. I can go forward and also review a case and see what a troubleshooting step has resulted in. I can send email to the customer. I can even go forward and connect with other departments, and also I can go forward and reach out internally to more advanced technical support teams to help me out with my job. I can review different procedures in it. There's a whole host of things that I can do in the CRM, all from one platform. Just a couple of clicks and I can do this. I can even manage what I'm going to be doing in my day, who I'm going to be calling, what time I'm going to call them, versus what I'm doing with my regular inbound calls, because I'm a dual agent. I'm a senior advisor, so basically I have two jobs. I call out and I take in calls. I manage customers, so essentially I'm managing the business as far as the front line, meeting the customer and their needs at that level. So that's what this tool really goes forward and does. That's what a CRM really does. When I was working for other companies, I strictly would do sales. So I would look at proposals. I would look at setting up, for example, a purchase order. So the CRM would allow me to create one. So I would go in, okay, I use my customer, I can make a customized letter, put it in front of them, and they can decide whether or not they're going to purchase, and then they send me the PO, I put it through the system, it goes to the order management team, and they go and look at it and say, okay, we're good to go. Are we using a coupon? Okay, let's take the coupon and put it on with us, and so on and so forth. So it allowed me to basically function in that manner, to put together a package for the customer and then basically give it to them and say, well, what do you want to do with this now? Or if it was just a straightforward, hey, I need some printing material. I need ink. Sure, no problem. I can order that for you. No purchase order today? Yes, no. If they had a purchase order, great. I would submit it. If they didn't, that would be fine. I would just basically go forward and send off the thing. Minimal input other than their address, what they paid, and so on and so forth, and then credit card information, and so on and so forth. So off it went. And that's basically what, really in a nutshell, a CRM is all about. And as I pointed out, there are many different ones that are going to be out there for you to choose from. And that's another key thing. You want to make sure that if you're going to use a CRM tool, that you know how to use it, and so does your staff. Because if you don't, that's going to be a problem for you and your staff. You have to make sure that it's not super easy, but it's also not super hard to use. When I say super easy, that it's just basic. You only get X, Y, Z. You can't do other things, because if you have other things that you do with this client, and XYZ is the only thing you have, that's not really robust, is it? But you also don't want to have so many bells and whistles on these CRMs that it's going to be a nightmare trying to manage, well, what am I doing here with this? You don't want to make an octopus out of your advisor. So the bottom line here is you want to ensure that your CRM tool meets your needs, meets the customer need, but also need of the advisor handling this. You want to make sure that it's easy to interface with this, that the graphical interface is clean, it looks sharp, it looks professional. When the advisor engages with it, it is smooth, it doesn't crash, it basically fits within your system. So technically speaking, you should always have a CRM that really is modeled on your business, has flexibility, and is not, how shall I put it, is not so technologically advanced that it's going to overwhelm you or even your customer. You don't want that to happen. You want to make it as simple as possible right across the board. You also want to marry this with compliance and making sure that the tool is used in a manner which is professional, making sure that the information is secured, encrypted, and also used in a manner which is in coordination with the rules that you have to follow in the compliance space and also the regulatory space for things like banking and whatnot, and also personal information and the sharing of it. So these are all important things. In a nutshell, a CRM essentially is your management tool. It is basically the engine, if you will, for the customer service representative or technical support team or promotions or sales team that basically goes and helps drive the rest of the business. So you want to choose wisely. You want to make sure that there's a symbiotic relationship between all of the groups and that everything flows really nice and evenly. That's going to be it for this edition of Tales from the Cube. I really appreciate you taking a peek with us here into this particular part of what it is like to work in a call center with particularly a CRM tool. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will go forward and catch you in the next episode, and we'll look at some other things to talk about, including down the road criticizing your company. How do we do that in a way that is positive? You'll see that in a couple of episodes down. Right now, I'm out of here. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for listening to Tales from the Cube. You can hear us on all the major podcast platforms such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. We'll see you in the next episode.